Welcome to Commander Tune-Ups. Today's Kykar Wins Fury deck tech is submitted by our special guest, Brian. And today we're going to show you how to make a bunch of spirits and then turn them into red mana. I am your host, Beezy, joined today by my co-host, as always.
Hi, I'm Brian.
Brian. And this is his deck, so we're going to talk about it. And you're going to get, like, the best possible perspective on this deck, because the owner is right there. The literal deck is, like, off-screen right over there. And now it's on-screen right over there. Bingo. Before we start, though, you got to subscribe because we're amazing.
Yeah, and subscribers are 10% less likely to be replaced by some random dude.
Disclaimer, Joe has not been replaced, and neither will you.
So let's talk about your deck, which you've played. What's the power level at? Let's clue us into that, and then, like, what's your budget?
I would say the power level is basically trying to make a half an hour game that no one is comboing off, and then eventually someone wins. Yeah. It's like the general gist of it.
Not so much infinite combo, make a bunch of
no infinite combos, no broken cards,
yes.
No, I'd say as few commander must-haves.
There's no, like, Cyclonic Rift in
No
here.
Cyclonic Rift,
Not
intentionally.
Intentional.
Yeah.
This is basically the exact opposite of that CEDH Kykar list we
Right,
reviewed
yeah,
a couple
exactly.
months ago.
Right.
That's why I thought it was perfect to bring on for a tune-up.
Right.
This is like the other end of the spectrum. So the first category is quick cycling. And by quick cycling, I mean giving other creatures useless abilities.
Yeah, like making them red and then laughing maniacally as you do so.
Yeah, with Crimson Wisps.
Yeah.
Your
Your general has haste.
Oh, your plans have been ruined. You idiot. Okay, Dragon Mantle is 1 red for an enchantment, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and then the enchanted creature has fire breathing.
And also, sacrifice a spirit. It doesn't say that on there, but it does, essentially.
Eventually, you're just going to sacrifice the spirit.
Right.
Whoa. This just replaces itself. It's a 0 mana investment that gives you a 1/1 flyer.
Yeah, and then also, fire breathing can be somewhat relevant with your commander.
If you,
damage.
sacrifice 8 spirits, and you won't give something +8/+0, that's the poor man's way to win.
Right.
If you have nothing else to do, we have a bunch of spirits.
I mean, and they have no removal, and you sacrifice your entire army and pray and hope that they don't have any removal spell at all.
It sounds like they don't have it,
Yeah.
just from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Crash Through is the same thing, but it gives you guys trample.
Yeah.
Renegade Tactics makes a creature not be able to block.
Yeah, not very.
That's gonna wreck some lives.
Strictly worse than Crimson Wisps.
Right. Strictly worse. And then Faithless Looting is just like the best card ever.
Banned in Modern.
Banned in
so it's
Modern.
Gotta be good.
We just put it in.
It has to be amazing.
We don't actually know. We've never played that card.
Yeah.
We just put it in.
I think it might be red.
All right. So we have a board with all our Faithless Lootings and Dragon Mantles. Now we got to protect it. One of my favorite card of the deck, easily, is Sunforger. Why don't you talk about Sunforger? What does that do?
It's an equipment. It takes 3 generic mana.
I'm in.
It has equipped creature, has +4/+0.
Obviously.
It has equipped 3.
Okay.
Okay. It has red and a white, unattached Sunforger. And also,
there's more.
search your library for an instant or sorcery that's red, that takes 4 or less.
A red instant, I think.
Red instant.
Right. Red or white instant.
Red or
yeah.
white instant that takes 4 or less. And it's in your deck.
It's pretty finicky.
Yeah, it has a lot of things. There's only like 4 or 5 cards that actually fit that, but
Yes.
But I have all 4 or 5 of them in the deck.
Right. So then you can pick which way do I want to do this.
Right. So basically, removal, protection,
Swords,
counter.
your swords to plowshares, and
Yeah.
we also have Render Silent, which counters a spell, and then they can't cast any more spells. Suck it. And then Counterflux, which counters a spell, but it can't be countered.
Right. And yeah, I mean,
Those are great to get with Sunforger, or obviously just play.
Yeah, they're significantly worse to just randomly play, but they're significantly better that you have the option to do that.
Yeah. Once you get once you get it with Sunforger, it's like
Right.
this feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Stop your combo turn. Stop that uncounterable thing. Dovin's Beto.
Beto.
I'm
Like
not gonna
Beto O'Rourke.
I'm not even going to re-say that. Dovin's Beto can't be countered. Also, it counters a non-creature spell. And counterspell, what does that do?
It counters a spell. Not red or white, though. So I don't know why it's
doesn't
in
counter-
the Sunforger
It doesn't counter
area.
Doesn't counter red or white spells. This is the protecting the board area.
It does counter, so you can do that. It's a kind of a combo with Sunforger. You need to trigger prowess. You can get something with Sunforger, and then you counterspell
That's
with counterspell.
2 prowess triggers.
Yeah.
Woo.
Randy Bueller will be
He's already in heaven.
Yeah.
He's not dead. He's not dead, though. Going off. I put this in quotes on the script because we're not actually going off, but we got to set up a board and draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
This is card draw.
You have to do something
We have
at
to,
some point.
We have to take game actions, or else we probably shouldn't be playing a game.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean,
So-
it's a half-an-hour game, not an infinitely
We're striving
long
for
game.
the 30-minute special. So
Right.
read the first one we got on here.
Bident of Thassa, so that draws you cards.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, it's a 4-mana artifact enchantment legendary thing. It's not most of those.
We've talked about Binding of Thassa like 10 videos in a
yeah.
row.
It's like 50 cents, and it's terrible in most decks, but it's good in some decks.
Creatures hit, draw a card, and then we just played a game yesterday where you tapped it and made my creature attack.
Yeah.
I think my Baral had to attack
Yeah.
into a
It had
3/3.
to attack into Kykar, and it was okay.
He doesn't win that fight.
Yeah, he doesn't win.
And you had activated that on accident.
I,
because you forgot
but
I
I
had creatures.
activated it intentionally, but I forgot that he had creatures.
You activated
and-
it to be stupid, but
Yeah.
it turns out it accidentally got you a card.
Yeah, a lot of times that's the only mistakes that I make in Magic is when I accidentally do something good.
Yeah, you
I intentionally do everything terrible, but occasionally I accidentally win the game.
right. Occasionally you could actually accidentally win. All right.
Mentor the Meek.
Yes. What does that do?
He's 2 and a white for a 2/2. Whenever a little creature comes in, you pay 1 and you draw a card.
Not the best card draw, but it's white. This deck is white and red, so we gotta have some repeatable ways to
Yeah,
do
and,
things.
and blue. There is some blue in there.
Well, white and red is the part that has bad card draw.
yeah.
So
So I have to make sure I have bad white card
You
draw.
have to make sure it's in there because it's a
Right.
30-minute game.
Exactly.
I want to draw your whole deck.
But yeah, so basically every single instant, sorcery, whatever, non-creature spell that you cast has, if you pay 1, then you draw an extra card.
So you could either make a spirit, or if you don't have any extra mana, you can just draw a card.
Right,
Respond to the trigger, sack the spirit you make, and then draw a card with that.
right. Like if you have Pull from Tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and they have like Chalice of the Void on 17,
Yes.
and you're going to cast Pull from Tomorrow for 17,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to. You can go down to 16,
Oh.
and then you pay 1, and then you still draw the 17.
Right. So pull
then
from
discard
pull
card.
from tomorrow is X blue blue, and you draw X, and then you discard 1 card.
Yeah.
And Chalice of the Void costs X and enters with X charge counters, and then
Yeah.
whenever a player casts a spell with mana costs X, counter it.
Most commonly played on X equals 17.
They had a lot of mana. They had Supertron
Exactly.
and Commander.
Yeah.
And then Keep Watch, which is 2 blue. It's an instant. You draw a card for each attacking creature. That can work on offense or on defense if you're losing horribly.
Right. Well, I mean, even so, like if you're just drawing it for like 3 cards, that's not terrible.
No.
You know,
I
I mean,
cash
like-
this in for 3 or 4 if you really need to.
Right. Like if someone like wipes a board, or they Cyclonic Rift you or something, and you're like way behind, then they attack you, and you have that up, you could just draw 3 cards and get
Yeah,
somewhat back in the game.
It's definitely fine at 3. I'd play Thirst for Knowledge, which is very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
This is just better than that if 3
Yeah.
creatures are attacking it
Right.
at any point.
Right. And like even if they're going to play removal or whatever, like you just play that in response. Even if they're like bounce all your dudes. Or,
Even if they're only attacking you with a couple guys, you might just want to fire this off, create 1 blocker,
yeah.
and then you could draw to something else, maybe make another blocker.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, at worst, it's like, I mean, you could reasonably play it as like divination, which isn't great, but
Well, the absolute floor of this card is they're attacking you with a 7/7 flyer, you need a blocker. So I'll cycle this card and make a block.
I mean, the absolute floor is you just play it. And you
play
get
on-
a spirit. Well,
No,
even
you
worse.
just play it on turn
You
3.
just play it.
You just fire it off.
Yeah, you just play it, and then you pass the turn. That's the absolute floor.
That would be pretty embarrassing. So this is a PSA from the new Nitpicking nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
Minus
no,
Joe, who will
all
never
we-
be back.
No, I replace Joe.
Yeah.
No, it's never been Joe.
That's true. This is just the Nitpicking nerds.
Yeah, as it always.
Top
is.
advice: don't just play this on turn 3.
Yeah, when you don't have like
You're-
don't
you're
do it in
welcome.
your pre-combat main phase,
You're welcome.
and then pass the turn.
Yes, yes. And the final and possibly most broken card in the deck, Skull Clamp.
Yeah.
1 mana for an equipment if you didn't know. Equips for 1. Quick creature gets +1/-1, and then when a quick creature dies, you draw 2 cards.
And I would say that this is like almost too good.
We're
You know,
teetering. We're teetering.
Yeah, teetering on the edge that it might actually bring it down to like a 27-minute game. So probably
Yeah,
have to
honestly-
play around with that.
Because it makes the spirit itself. It's so free.
Right, exactly. So it's like basically every single card, it's a strictly better white dude for
Right.
2/2.
Take a look at all of the rest of these, and you're just like, which would I rather have?
Exactly.
And it's probably
the one that takes less, draws more.
takes less, draws more, and if they're at 4 life, Kykar's getting in there.
Exactly.
Can you tell if this deck really wants to protect Kykar?
Yeah.
We have like 6 counter spells. Like, you gotta make sure he doesn't die.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite as bad as like, some decks where it's like they only function with
Yes.
their general, but
No, because we've had games where well, you're ramping, and now we killed Kykar. It's like, well, you just played again.
Yeah.
And the next turn you're going off.
Right, exactly. Or even, you're just playing, like, other creatures that we'll get to like later, like Monastery Mentor.
Yeah,
or
just
whatever. You're just
Salt of
playing
the Earth,
dudes.
your payoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
You can still do things with your. It just becomes a bad spell slinger deck.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is not bad.
Yeah, definitely. Like I would say, like a 4, out of 10 if Kykar's not out. But then it becomes like an 8 out of 10.
I was gonna say 8 out of 10. We're so in sync right now.
I mean,
but
we've been doing this for over a year.
actually, our 1 year anniversary, I believe, is November 2nd.
I know, obviously.
In terms of video, well, I wasn't telling you. I was telling them.
Oh.
In terms of our first Commander tune-up that came out, which is when we like started really getting into the channel.
Yeah, basically when I never left the channel, but when I left the channel,
Yeah, there was a brief time where Brian wasn't on. Okay, winning the game is our next category, and the first one is Jeskai Ascendancy. This card's awesome. You love this card, so you can read it.
It's an enchantment for red, white, blue, America. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can draw a card and then you discard a card, and then also you can untap all your guys to get +1/+1. And basically, it just is one of my favorite cards, probably in the top 3-ish
Of Magic?
of Magic in general.
It's such a cool card. It does everything. It makes every other Ascendancy look like absolute garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
By comparison, like, oh, Sultai Ascendancy, I can surveil one, kind of. I don't know what that is. It's look at the top 2.
Yeah, or Mardu Ascendancy, where it's like, this is the aggressive wedge, but then like it gives all your guys extra defense.
Extra defense.
Yeah.
I think they were worried about Anger of the Gods.
I have no idea.
I don't know what they were worried about making a good card.
I don't understand. We talked about that card a number of times. Like,
but Jeskai Ascendancy, completely awesome. You're storming off. Every spell obviously also makes you a spirit. Your spirits get heavier. They get stronger. They get heavier. They can't fly anymore. And they can start swinging in for stupid amounts. If all your spirits are 8/8s, the game's over.
I mean, I would say like reasonably, like let's say you untap with like 3 guys and Kykar, you probably have like a 50-50 chance to win the game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You only have 4 attackers, maybe 5 if you give 1 haste.
Yeah.
But 4 attackers, they can get +12.
Yeah, I mean,
all the rest of your spirits go to generating more mana for the pump those guys.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I would say, I mean, maybe like 50-50 is like a little high, but I mean, to get like an insane attack where you're just like they have to, sacrifice all their dudes to block, and then you kill their planeswalker and stuff.
Right. You're dominating now.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you didn't lose any cards. You're probably up cards.
Right. And like you can go from like Jeskai Ascendancy to Kykar, and then like play a couple spells, and then like the next turn, like just crush them.
Yeah, it's super cheap, so you can save it or play it early and then work up to it.
Right.
Kykhar's Crusade is next. It's 3 white for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on. You ready? All your creatures, all of them.
Yeah. There's at least 1 usually, and sometimes more than 1.
That's 1 counter. Sometimes more than 1 counter. This is Jeskai Ascendancy, the buff on steroids, because the counter just stays.
Right. The only downside is it takes more and doesn't filter your
It's
cards.
honestly worse, but if you can make 5 spirits even all at once, now you just have a huge board that needs to be wrathed.
Right.
This is where you hold up a counterspell and go, I'm not going to lose this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe take somebody out, and then you're holding up counterspell.
Right. I would definitely say that this one also is like a trap for a lot of decks, that they'll just like play this in a mono white deck that is like, let's play some soldiers.
I have creatures.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I have like 30 creatures or 40 creatures in the deck, and it's fine.
Whereas if you look at this deck, you go, this deck has 4 creatures.
Right.
Why do we want, literally 4, I think. Why do we want Kykhar's Crusade? It's like, well, it's the token go wide theme. It's not necessarily how many creatures you play only.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say that this deck especially is like a lot about just killing them with attacking with flyers intentionally and not storming off and
less storming
like
off,
shotting them.
More just 1 by 1 or 2 players at a time because you have such a big board and you're just protecting it and there's nothing they can do.
Yeah. Especially
Especially if you have like Sunforger on Kykar, you're just like, take 7, you take like 15 from the spirits.
Right.
I'm holding up 7 counter spells, you're done.
I would say that's pretty common is like attack someone just with damage and then like keep hitting someone for like commander damage over and over again.
Yeah, just poke them over here and then poke you over here.
Right, yeah, exactly.
All right, this next one is not as winny as the other 2, but it's Outpost Siege. It's 3 and a red for enchantment. You can choose cons or dragons.
Never choose cons.
Cons is every turn you exile a card and then you can play it.
Yeah.
Not super great,
Not
but hey,
great.
if you need cards, like it's there for you.
Yeah, if you have no cards in hand and you're way behind.
But what's dragons?
Dragons is whenever a creature you control leaves play, you can do a damage to any target. Or I think, did they make it so you can shoot?
Yeah, any target, any card. PSA: any card that says creature or planeswalker was errata to
Creature or player.
Creature or player is errata to planeswalker also.
Okay. So essentially what you do is every time you're sacrificing your guys for mana, then you can kill all their creatures. And then if you have a crap ton of creatures, you might be able to kill someone.
You just
But-
fling your whole board.
Yeah, exactly. You can fling your whole board, but realistically, it's just like as you're sacrificing mana, you might as well just kill their entire board every single turn.
Yeah, I like this because there's no way to stop. You have to kill Outpost Siege. You can't
Right.
kill your creatures, and then if they kill Outpost Siege, you still have creatures.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's pretty difficult to sequence kill Outpost Siege, then kill all your creatures, because if they kill Outpost Siege, you have a chance to sacrifice your creatures if you need to.
Right. Yeah. As long as you have Kykar out.
So I actually like this card a lot. I was down on it, and then you brought it up that maybe we shouldn't cut it. I'm like, wait, this is just sweet.
Well, I think that's basically the theme of the deck is a bunch of cards that like normally are traps and they're normally not great. But
Right.
in this deck, they're actually pretty good.
They're actually, maybe you should try it out, especially if you're on a budget, because this deck isn't very expensive. Except for the mana base.
Yeah.
The mana base, like cards you had lying around.
Right. Cards I had lying around like Tundra and Volcanic Island and
All
all the fetches.
11 fetches.
Yeah.
But the
Other than that-
cards, like Renegade Tactics, you can get for, it's only like $3 or $5 now.
Right. And like most of the cards are probably like,
Crash Through, I think that's only 10 cents.
oh!
Joke. Okay, last one on one of the games.
Yeah. Annoyed Procession, essentially it's doubling season, but just for your tokens. It's a 3 and a white enchantment. Whenever, I don't know, I think it's like whenever an effect would cause you to create a token, you make
Yeah.
an additional.
You make twice that
twice
many.
as many. So every single spell that you cast gives you 2 spirits instead of 1. And it gets pretty out of hand.
Yeah, this gives you 1 spirit right away, too.
Yeah, that's true. But it triggers so that you get 1 spirit, not 2.
Yeah, and I one important card I forgot to mention was Ashnod's Altar.
Oh, yeah.
With like cards like this and Outpost Siege, you're just doing whatever you want.
Yeah, or like the
nothing even
one-
matters anymore.
The one game where like I played Martial Coup for like, X equals 8. So I
Oh,
got
yeah.
16 guys, and then I sacrificed them to
Ashnod's Altar.
with Ashnod's Altar, like because like everyone ended up replaying all their creatures or getting a board presence again. Sacrifice all of them, and then cast like Martial Coup for 16, so I get 32
Yeah,
soldiers.
it's so funny. And now that we're moving on to talking about sort of cards in the deck we thought would be fun to
Cards
talk
of
about.
note.
Cards of note.
Yeah.
Our famous end of episode cards of note. Fault Line and Earthquake are really good with Ashnod's Altar.
Really good with the Ashnod's Altar, but really good with Kykar in general.
True.
Because you can just kill off most creatures and none of your own, except for Mentor the Meek
Yeah, your Mentor of the
Essentially.
Meeks and your,
and your.
I think Jace Vryn's Prodigy.
Yeah, I mean he's probably flips. He's
probably out.
Monetary Swift Spear, I guess. But 90% of the time it's just a one-way wrath.
Destroy all creatures you don't control. Every player takes like 15.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And even if you want, you could just make it like 4.
Right,
You
and-
don't have to like crush them.
Right, Earthquake deals X to each creature without flying and each player.
Yeah.
And Fault Line's the same thing for more mana. Earthquake has a CMC of 1 though,
Yeah.
which is tutorable by
Disney spell.
Dizzy. 1 blue for an instant. 1 blue for an instant. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn. But it also has Transmute.
Right. Which is basically search your library for any card that takes 1, exactly 1.
Earthquake.
And transmute is 1 blue.
Right. Earthquake, Skull Clamp, Soul Ring, all of the really good cards.
Yeah,
Cost
basically
1.
Earthquake.
Faithless Looting.
Yeah, it's Banded Modern. So
Banded
gotta
Modern.
be
Renegade Tactics, Crash
Ooh.
Through. Also,
good. Wisps.
what else can we find?
Mind Stone if it took 1 less.
Okay, that Wayfarer's Bauble. That's one.
Hmm.
If you already have 3 mana and you really want to spend 3 mana to
Ponder.
get one. Wow.
Gataxian Probe.
That card's actually pretty good. Then you can just cast it right away.
Other cards.
I used to have a deck that every card in the deck cost 1 mana. Dizzy Spell was broken.
Yeah. I remember that one standard deck that I had was the Jeskai Ascendancy combo, and every single thing took 1 except for Jeskai Ascendancy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And it was insane.
That standard deck was dumb. Speaking of mana cards that mana cost 1, Repeal. X and a blue for an instant. You bounce something with mana cost X and you draw a card.
Yep. So good for like protecting Kykar, good for bouncing Snapcaster Mage back to your hand.
Ooh, I wasn't even thinking about that stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking about just bouncing your opponent's tokens or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, kills a token. Makes them like go back on mana if you need to. But I would say mainly like protecting my own stuff.
That's
is
true.
Important. Yeah.
I like that. Now, Reality Shift we have on here.
Yeah. The biggest blowout that could
Mainly
ever
because
blow out.
the biggest
anyone.
blowout that's ever happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I played Queen Marchesa on turn 2, I think. And then on
I
turn,
think so, yeah.
I think on turn 3, I played Sarah Ascendant, and
Right.
then I passed. And at the end of the player before my turn, I went Vamp Tutor
Right.
for
search
something.
for the best possible card that I
Yeah.
can get in my entire deck, and then put
then
it on top of my library.
I'm like, go to draw, and you're like, no, I'll stop you on your upkeep. And you reality shift.
I reality shift the the guy, so it's you lose your 6/6 lifelink flyer, and also you lose the best card in your deck.
And my Vamp Tutor I just
And
discarded
you discard it, lose 2 life,
Discard card, lose 2 life.
and then I Praetor's
Sacrifice a
Grasp,
creature,
like
yeah.
the best card in your deck.
Yeah, that was real sad.
Yeah,
Real sad times.
for 2 mana.
For 2 mana.
Yeah, and I made a spirit.
Yeah, reality shift is great. It's just really premium removal.
Yeah.
It's the blue swords, I would say.
Right, yeah,
pretty
exactly.
close
I
to
mean,
that.
I would say probably worse than swords. Like if you had another swords.
We do have swords, so this
You
is
do have swords,
maybe
yeah.
the next step down. It's just
Yeah,
it's blue's not going to get anything better than this. The 2/2 is completely irrelevant.
yeah, and red, it has damage and stuff, but there's a lot of things that are indestructible, a lot of things that are really big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just super big, like my big 6/6 flyer for 1 mana. That shouldn't be in the format. That just dies to reality. Just get it out of there.
Right.
All right, there's a couple more. War of Invention.
Word of Invention takes X blue for an instant. It has Improvise,
Mm-hmm.
so you can tap artifacts to help pay for it. Not too relevant on that one.
Convoke
but
for artifacts. We
yeah,
have a few.
Yeah, there's a couple.
They all tap for mana.
Yeah, they all tap for mana for the most part. There's a couple that don't, but whatever. Search your library for an artifact that takes X or less, and you put it in the battlefield.
This card's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it's going to get Sunforger. There were a couple cards that I had in the deck before that we cut, like
Yes.
Ensnaring Bridge. and
Staring
Meekstone.
Bridge. The Meekstone was pretty cool, but
Yeah, it's
probably
just
not as
it's not
aggressive
great.
as we want.
Yeah.
Any Mana Rock, Soul Ring, Skull Clamp, like we just said, Sunforge is probably the best one.
Yeah, Sunforger is probably the best just because it's like the 3rd or 4th best card in the deck.
Yeah,
Like,
it's up there.
maybe
It
behind,
can
like,
just take
Just
over,
Dance.
take over games.
Yeah.
Especially in more less CEDH
Yeah.
metas.
Yeah, and especially since you can do it right before your turn, and then
Yeah,
you
that's
untap
true.
with whatever
You
it is.
can
Uh,
take out the initial 3 mana investment of Sunforge, so it's
Right.
more affordable.
Like Binding Thassa is a really good one.
Ooh, Binding Thassa
Yeah.
is a really good
It's
one.
in combat you can.
I knew I
not
was
if it
missing
didn't
one.
block. Then you.
Yeah, I
get
knew
that.
I was missing one. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, take 5. Oh, but what if I drew
What if I draw
5?
5 cards?
Is it Charms? Was a card we cut, right?
Right, it's a card we cut, but I mean, same with the next one.
Yes.
But it's a card that I like a lot.
Right, we were on the
It's
the
a
fringe.
debate.
Yeah.
So the person that we called Joe, he's never been on the show.
Our
You wouldn't
friend
really know.
Joe.
Yeah.
We were playing
frequent
Command.
caller.
Yeah.
But he just said, it's like a bad faithless looting, which is banned in modern. So,
So, consider
still
that.
could still be good. But I think it's okay. I mean, counter things unless they pay 2. A lot of times people tap out for something, not thinking about it.
2 damage is not nothing.
2 damage, kills Jace from Prodigy. It kills.
Basically 3 bad cards.
It's 3
But
bad cards.
Like all Charms are, and they make up a good card.
Right, yeah. I mean, I would say that it's like, I'll go back and forth. I mean, I do like it that you could get it with Sunforger, because then you have a lot of options.
True. If you need to kill something small. I don't want to swords the first time every time.
Right.
If they play a 2/2 that I have to kill, I want to Is It Charm it and not swords it.
Right. And then also an extremely big blowout.
Oh, that happened yesterday
Yeah,
with
exactly.
our friend Joe.
Yeah.
Friend
You
of the
don't know
show. Friend of the show.
So he Cyclonic Rift, and if it resolved, then he would have won.
Yep.
If it didn't resolve, then I would have won.
But
So
Joe forgot to tap.
oh.
Well, he didn't forget.
Yeah, he only had
He only
one.
left one land untapped.
So then I pulled from the mouth for 14.
Yeah.
And then the 13th card down was Is It Charm. It was the only counter spell that I drew. And it's the only
Slam
one
it.
that, yeah, exactly.
Slam it.
And
The
then
only
I
one you
spit
could
in
have
his
ever
eye.
wanted.
Yeah.
It's, you did spit in his eye.
Probably.
Yeah, absolute blowout.
Yeah.
Is It
So
Charm?
it's gotta be good.
Is It Charm?
Put it back in.
That's the one-
Result-based thinking is always
Officially, the 101st card in the deck is It Charm.
Yeah.
Think about it for your own deck. How about this? If you want to buy this deck, which you can do on TCG Player if you use the link in the description to support the channel, then take out the most expensive card for budget reasons and put in Is It Charm.
Yeah.
Because it's going to do work for you.
Or take out any card, because Is It Charm is probably the actual best card in the deck.
Take out Tundra. if you
Take
can't
out
afford
Tundra.
that.
Yeah, take out Kykar.
If you can't afford it.
Right. And then you just keep casting Is It Charm as your commander. And it's even better.
That's
Yeah.
pretty great.
Yeah.
The last one, it's such a random card, but it's one worth talking about. Ephemeral Shields. 1 and a white for an instant with Convoke. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn.
Right. The only reason I put this on there is because this was also a point of contention.
Yes, it was.
Because you can cast it with your spirits, and
True.
then it protects Kykar, which is extremely
The
important.
spirits convoke themselves. You can
Right.
tap out entirely, and you can't really protect Kykar for red.
Yeah.
With this, which is what the spirits produce.
Right. And then also, like in my meta, there's quite a bit of mass removal from Andrew.
Board wipes?
Yeah, he plays like
Damnation and all that.
like basically all of them. So like,
yeah, he plays the curve of creature. 7 board wipes.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is another thing. We
It's,
have another similar card in the deck is Boros Charm, which will give all you guys, but obviously it costs actual mana. We cut it, but up to you. If you're
see.
meta like Brian's has a bunch of stuff, maybe Brian puts it back in. Maybe you put it in.
Maybe you can buy it on TCG.
Yeah, that was the deck
For
which you
13
can
cents,
which you can buy all of the cards on TCG Player because we're like best buds with them.
Yeah.
We basically just go and we play golf
Don't we own it?
every weekend. We are TCG Player. Shh. And also, do you know how many patrons we have? 28. Special shout out to you guys because you're amazing.
Listen, I'm not one of them.
Brian is not one of them because he's supporting the show by being a co-host for the past year. Okay, like cut him some slack.
Nearly a year.
Almost a year. Cut him some slack. But patrons are awesome. We love you. What would Joe say? We love you. I literally never get this right. We love you the maximal amount without making you uncomfortable.
Right. It's like it's the limit approaching uncomfortable.
Yes.
It approaches that, but never quite reaches it. But mathematically, it actually does reach it. But whatever. Like
yeah.
it goes to infinite, but it goes to infinite -3.
But whatever. Okay.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, you guys are great. I think we're gonna sign out now, unless you have
Yeah.
any closing thoughts.
I think my closing thought is that we should wrap up the show.
Well said, Brian. Peace out, Tribe Scout.